Hello guys and welcome to another The New Byte video. I'm Dan and with me is Housetest.
Hey guys.
And this time we're looking at Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown.
Yeah, so we've been at Gamescom and we had an appointment with Bandai Namco and they gave us basically a station where you could play lots of PlayStation 4 games, which was a portfolio. I think overall there were 7 titles that we played and this is one of them, Ace Combat 7. If you guys wonder, we have no audio of this because our recording setup, which I did, was sadly a little wrong, and I simply skipped the audio setup, and I was just seeing, okay, there's video, so that's good. Yeah, this is why we're just talking over it and have no audio itself. But then, what is this game and how do you play it?
Right, so Ace Combat 7 is kind of like it's not really a flight simulator, but you play as a fighter pilot and you have to take out different objectives following a storyline. In this case, for Ace Combat 7, you play as, I can't remember what the main character's name is. I believe it does come up as a subtitle, but you are essentially a criminal of the Air Force, of this country, and you are Trigger, that's it. So then you are tasked with being the target of all the anti-aircraft fire and missiles that come at you. So you and a couple of other people in your squad are basically, you're serving your time by trying to increase the survivability of other pilots. So you've got pretty much, yeah. So each mission has main objectives and secondary objectives. So in this one, the main objective is to take most of the fire from the enemy units and ensure that your allies mostly stay alive. So with this one, I opted for more of a complete destruction tactic. I'd go in, try and obliterate everything on my path and move on to the next one. So I believe this was like my second or third time doing this because I had previously played a little bit of this as I was very excited after the trailer that they showed us. The trailer really it was really cool. It was very like movie or anime-esque trailer. It was incredible.
You got some Metal Gear Solid vibes from it, even like, this is drama, this is military, and yeah, this is now actually gameplay. So you played it before on your PlayStation, and then we went over to my setup where everything was already hooked up, so you played it again. So this is actually a little bit more used to game.
Yeah, so this one is, I believe, in the standard mode of setup, and I'm using air-to-surface missiles, and it's a lock-on of 8. So I was able to lock onto multiple targets, and I was taking out planes as they were going off on the runway. I was just trying to get as much like fire down as possible to kind of just obliterate anything that was going to go after my my allies. Yeah, so with the standard mode, your flights turning left and right is not as harsh as it would be in either a real simulation or in their expert mode. So you can see it's like lightly banking left and right. If it was in the expert mode, the whole plane would just flip to the side, which we'll show you later.
Yeah, we got both gameplay sessions for the normal and the expert mode.
Yeah, so loving it. I was loving flying super close to things and just dodging past them. But as you can see at the moment, there's a red mark that completely covers your screen when you are targeted by a missile. So as you can see now, it's going, and then wherever the missile is coming from, there is a
see the indicator.
There's a little indicator. There's an indicator on the screen telling you about this, but also on the radar to the bottom left, you can actually see a outline of a missile.
Okay.
So you can tell roughly how close it is to you, where it's coming from. So I was using that whenever I got locked on by a missile to tell whether I needed to bank left or right just to get out of its way. You do have flares as well, but there's a very limited amount, and because this military doesn't really care about you. They said at the beginning, you don't get any resupplies, and if you run out of ammo, stay out there just to take fire. So essentially I was trying to keep everything just in case I came up against something that I was finding really difficult.
Okay. But basically, you were just evading by swinging left and right and waiting for
Yes.
the missile to miss you.
Yeah, so it's essentially that's what I was doing, but I was also trying my hardest just to take out as much stuff as possible, just to because if I take it out, then I don't get hit and my allies don't get hit. So
makes sense.
Works every single way. But yeah, so the 8 missile locking on was fantastic because it allowed you to lock onto several targets all at once without having to worry too much.
There goes the bridge. Oh god. Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to.
Lots of destruction possibilities.
Yes, incredible amounts of destruction. It's just finding the right things to hit to blow up, and knowing how much to hit for each one, which took me a while to get to learn. But things like warehouses didn't take very much to hit, especially if there were fuel tanks nearby. At the beginning base, there was like I think a couple of fuel tanks, and you can just one hit on one of the fuel tanks would blow both of them up and a nearby anti-air vehicle, which was great. So you take out 3 targets just by aiming for one. But I absolutely loved this. I was having the time of my life. I was getting loads of like Top Gun vibes.
Top Gun, yeah.
I was really loving it, but I was just loving flying around the canyon, just taking everything like super close and just flying past.
Intense.
Oh, it was great. But yeah, I can't wait to actually get my hands on this game a little bit more.
Cool. Yeah, that's nice.
So yeah, that's pretty much what each mission. There was 2 missions that were on display. There was this one, which is slightly open, a bit more. There's a bit of the canyon run type feel. But the seconded mission, which was mission number 7, was ridiculously difficult because it was in a rocky mountainous area where there was like pillars of stone. Think like Avatar.
Oh yeah.
And then it was in foggy, rainy, stormy conditions. So you could see pretty much nothing. And I spent about 3 or 4 tries on the mission, and I managed to complete it after I was. But that was. There comes the enemy fire, yeah. So you really got to like watch out where everything's coming from. But I was just going like, I don't care. I'm just gonna fly through everything. But yeah, so with that second mission, it was very hard, and I ended up completing it. But I thought for the purposes of recording a few missions, I just stick to this one. It's really simple. There's not much to it.
That means there's a lot of variety in the game also.
Yeah. Yeah. Sadly, though, that the build that they gave us, or that we were allowed to play, was for the games floor as well. So as you can see, there's a score, and the game was set to, after a certain amount of time at the minimum score, which I'm currently at, the game would just fade away to and say thanks for playing. I think I was because I'd done it so quickly, because this was like I think the 4th or 5th time I was playing this mission. It allowed me to play a little bit more, just because I was doing so much with it. But yeah, I was loving listening to the characters talk, and just listening to just reacting with the plane, because the plane is very intuitive, but it takes a little bit of like getting to know what you can do within.
I wonder, how did your sticks control? Because was it inverted or like regular gaming?
So it was inverted. And I actually was like, oh, I don't like this, and I changed it straight away. But I immediately noticed that it was a lot harder to control. So I think just in my mind, I must have just been like thought, oh, okay, I can do this, and didn't realize that I was more in tune with knowing, oh, with a plane your stick goes up and everything. So what I did was I re-inverted it, and I was just having the time of my life, really. Yeah, so there we go. So it just fades to black, and says thank you for playing. But I think we got straight in with the expert mode.
Right, there we go. Thanks for playing.
There we go.
So don't go off. This is now the same mission again, but this time in expert mode.
Yes, which is a lot harder.
Yeah. In which ways?
You have to. instead of just using the left stick to move around, you have to use the left stick and the bumpers, because the bumpers would turn your craft left and right. So not only are you like, okay, I need to bank right, but you need to bank right and turn right. So as you can see that I'm doing here, because I figured what would be really cool is just to try and get like a carpet bomb of this area straight away.
I love how the wings also have like little I don't know what it's called, like air resistance or something that you can see if you're turning around a lot.
Oh, right, yes,
like
yeah.
Start to shine.
Wind resistance, yeah.
Yeah, lots of attention for details also on the aircraft itself.
Yeah, it was I just can't stress it enough. It was so much fun to play this, and yeah, as you can see in expert mode, everything's a lot more twitchy, so I end up just trying to stay level most of the time rather than just focusing on firing as much as I can.
Yeah, it's a little different right away.
Yeah.
So how many times did you crash while playing this game?
So in standard mode, I think I crashed once. And that was because I misjudged it. I think it was like my second one, and I misjudged how close I was to the ground.
Okay.
In expert mode, I think I crashed about 6 times, just because it's so easy just to to pull up and forget that, oh, I'm banked right, so pulling up's just going to keep me going around backwards.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you want a challenge, expert mode is fantastic, and I think I get super close to the ground here.
Yeah, that was really critical.
Yeah, because especially in the mission 7, if you're when you get too close to anything, it does say warning, pull up. But sometimes warning, pull up is not great when it's a towering piece of stone that's right in front of you. So you pull up and you just go into the top of it.
Go to the sides.
Go to the sides. But yeah, I was just loving playing this.
A lot of critical hits there also.
A lot of critical hits, but blowing some stuff up, flying around.
Was there any indication for your damage, or is the right side actually just the green one where we see damage 37%?
I believe that's damage to the plane.
Yeah, because you can't see any damage on the plane itself right now in the 3D model.
So at the beginning of the game, at the beginning of the at the selection screen, which we kind of just glossed over a little bit, I'll go back and explain this. So they have about 3 different planes to pick from. I think it might have been just for this build, but I think over time you can get some more. And with your special weapon, which is in this case it's the 8 air to surface missiles, it tells you what kind of pattern it drops it at. So you can look on if you go back just and have a 5-minute look, you can see how as I'm scrolling over the special weapons, it says, okay, so this one is an air to water missile or torpedo, and it will drop down and it will go and seek its target, whereas the 8 missile air to surface missile, it has a little picture of the plane going over and then like 8 different branching things and targets exploding. So you can see what kind of pattern it's going to do things at. There was some air to surface missiles that I had in the mission 7, which was just a straight shot, and it would carpet bomb where your missiles were pointed. So that was really interesting, because then I could actually see, okay, I know for these missiles when I'm using them, I have to make sure I get over my target or lined up on my target so I can carpet bomb it.
You're going really high here.
Oh yeah, you can go crazily high, and have dogfights and everything. So there's a wide variety of aerial combat that you can experience, which was fantastic, and I very much recommend it.
All right, then that's it, folks. We're almost at the end of this demo. Yes. And yeah, screen just turns black. All right, then. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this, please subscribe and give us a thumbs up. That helps a lot to us. And of course, use the bell icon on YouTube, because YouTube is massively broken. Daniel, thanks as always for joining me here and for telling us about Ace Combat 7. And I say see you in the next video, and bye-bye.
Bye now.